Well, hello there and welcome to this edition of the EV Revolution Show. My name is Kenneth McCoy, your host, and excited to be here with the brand new, kind of an early first drive of the 2025 Hyundai IONIQ 9. First, I want to, of course, thank Hyundai Canada for bringing me out with a bunch of journalists here to beautiful Ucluelet, British Columbia, on the west coast of Vancouver Island. Just a beautiful place to be. We've been here for a day or so to allow us to have the experience of the first drive for this beautiful, brand new all-electric offering from Hyundai. So thank them again very much for bringing me out. Again, disclaimer, they cover all expenses for this trip, fly us out, put us up. But of course, my opinions are my opinions, and that's what you're going to get on this review episode. So, hope you're excited as I am about the IONIQ 9, Hyundai's taste, first kick at the all-electric three-row SUV marketplace. So let me get right into this quick look at this particular all-electric. Now, one of the first things I want to talk about is the design. You can see, Hyundai is different than Kia, where Kia's got the more boxier, square look. Hyundai's always about more of the fluid, rounded, and aerodynamic type of experiences. And they've taken it up a notch here with the IONIQ 9. Of course, you've got your pixelization elements everywhere in the headlights and tail lights and all kinds of features. We don't even know how many pixels that there are in this car. If you try to find them all, there's quite a lot. But what they've done is really focus on efficiency and aerodynamics for this vehicle, because it is a big vehicle. It's a three-row SUV, right? Carries up to 7 people and stuff. So they want to try to make this as efficient as possible, and there's a lot you can do when it comes to design in aiding in electric efficiency. So you've got this nice rounded front here that you can see, especially with some of the B-roll. They've done a lot of things with the underskirting of the all-electric to cover all the open cavities as much as possible to make it a nice slipstream underneath the vehicle when you're traveling down the highway, down the road. You've got this really nice aerodynamic front, aerodynamic wheel covers, mirrors. I mean, there's nothing that has been left unturned here, no stone left unturned when it comes to aerodynamics. A lot of different elements in helping this vehicle slip through the air. The lighting is really nice. I love the uniqueness of this vehicle. So it, obviously it has that Hyundai design elements that we've seen in the IONIQ 5 and the IONIQ 6, of course, and even to a degree the new Kona. But they've just taken it up a notch with this vehicle because they have a lot more room to play with and do design features. So I think everything just flows really nice. We've been driving this for all of today, and it's been an extremely nice vehicle to drive. But I do like the design, I do like the looks, and I think they've done a great job when it comes to bringing something different in that size of a category vehicle.
So let's talk about some of the power specs. This is a really nice vehicle from a power perspective. I mean, we know that EVs, all electrics, are powerful, and Hyundai continues to make sure that this has ample power to carry lots of people and stuff. So it's available in 2 different trims, or a few different trims, in both rear-wheel drive and all-wheel drive specs. The rear-wheel drive is a single motor putting out 215 horsepower and 258 foot-pounds of torque. And when you increase that to the all-wheel drive in the base all-wheel drive trim, you get 303 horsepower and 446 foot-pounds of torque. Now, if you go into the preferred packages with the all-wheel drive plus trims, then you up that even more to 422 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. So again, this is a vehicle that weighs around 5,000 pounds or so. So it's ample to get this thing up and going and to pass and carry people and do those drives and still get really good range. I'm going to talk about range in this video a little bit later on. Now, all that power gets its electricity, gets its energy from the largest pack that Hyundai has to date yet. This is a 110.3 kilowatt hour battery pack, and that's about 10% more than the Kia EV9. So, getting 480, 490 kilometers in the EV9, a nice vehicle, is really good, but this ups the range quite a lot. And I'll tell you, the EPA range that they're talking about is about 500 to 539 kilometers of EPA rated range. They haven't had the testing finalized. I can tell you we exceeded that in our test driving loop that we did today. So we were very, very impressed with that. And this is all based on that advanced eGMP architecture that Hyundai and Kia and Genesis share. Now this is slightly longer, this platform, to incorporate that larger size battery, so it's a little longer than the EV9, and it is 800 volt architecture as well. So there's a lot going on here under the panels in the engineering side that Hyundai has done to make this, again, their no compromise vehicle, right? They want people to get in here, load it up, put stuff in people, and do your driving. Use this vehicle for what it's worth, not just doing 30, 40 kilometers in city driving. Sure, you can do that, but they really want, people that buy 3-row SUVs to use them for the reason that they would buy them for.
Now, one of the things that this vehicle has, which is different than the others, is, of course, it's got a bigger front. It has a front, of course, but it has a bigger front. And I'll show you some images, but this actually has a 52-liter front in the all-wheel drive configuration, which is what this is. But you take away that front motor if you get the single motor rear wheel, and you get 88 liters of front space. So it's actually quite a lot of front space. Within here you have your charging cable. It comes with a CCS to NACS, and I want to talk about charging in a sec, adapter, but you have a case to put this. So it's actually enough to hold a few things, as you can see here with these cases that it has. So it's a decent size. It's a bit more usable space than we've seen in some of the other models. Now, from a rear cargo perspective, it has a nice big hatch, of course, button to access it, which is really nice. Good lift over. It's not super high as some of the bigger SUVs, but it's a good lift over that you can put luggage in and out. I'll put the cargo specs as far as what the cubic feet and liter capacities are from the first row, behind the second row, and behind the third row. But it's a lot. I believe it's up to almost 1,400 liters of space from the first row back. And one of the nice things about this particular edition, now we have the calligraphy edition, which I'll get to pricing and trims coming up at the end, but this is the top spec trim, which has power seats everywhere. So you can just press a couple of buttons here and you can lower all the seats. Hopefully I'll do that too. There we go. So as you can see, they're all going down, and it really opens it up to a cavernous capacity when you put those seats down. This particular model is the 6-passenger, which means it's a 2-2-2 configuration, 2 captain's chairs in the middle. Everything else will come with a 7-passenger configuration, which will be 2-3-2 with a 60-40 bench seat, which is movable, slidable, and tilt for entry and exit on both sides of the vehicles to the third row. And of course, you've got that, in this case, you've got that middle opening with the captain's chairs to get back into the third row as well. But of course, you get a 3-row SUV for carrying people and stuff. And one of the nice things about the IONIQ 9 is this big wide doors that open up. As you can see, they almost open 90 degrees. So a lot of nice area to get in and out of the vehicle. And that's one thing I really like about that, is because sometimes these bigger SUVs are kind of cramped for the doors. They don't open that wide, so you kind of have to slip in. Now, of course, this one has the captain's chairs, as you can see, really nice high ceilings, and not too big of a step to get in. So if I climb in here, really nice and easy to get in, very comfortable, very adjustable in these captain's chairs, loads of leg room. Even with the panoramic roof, this has tons of headroom. I have about 2 fists of headroom here, and I'm about 5'7", so lots of headroom here to do things, to have space. It's just oodles of space in this thing, and that's one of the reasons why you're going to look at a vehicle like this is for the space and the accommodation that it provides. Now, for that third row entry, there's a couple of ways. There is a button here that you can push. What that is going to do is it's going to tilt and slide the power seat forward. This is, of course, power seats throughout the first 4, and then get to a point where it's the entry point. So let me see if I can get in. Yep, nice and easy, not too bad at all. And as you can see, with my knees barely sticking out, that I have room now. The seat will have to go a bit forward if I bring this back. I'm going to have to, let me just push that button here and then see how it goes. Yeah, it's coming back. It stopped. Okay, so I actually still have a bit of leg room, but there is a button to fold this, I believe. Just trying to see here. Yep. If I do that, so I can adjust it through the buttons. I do find you will have to put this up, but I got loads of headroom and I've got lots of elbow room for the two people that are back here with cup holders and all that stuff. And I'll give you the interior shots in this as you're seeing this. But yeah, I would say you have to put this seat up, but it's definitely a usable third row, and that's because of the increased length of this vehicle versus something like the EV9. Okay, and then just getting out is kind of the reverse of that. So kind of just step out and out. Now, of course, another easy way to do that, a little more gracefully than I just did, is to get in and walk through the middle, because with these captain's chairs, you're going to have that opportunity to do that. Just get in here like this and then walk through the middle, and that'll get you to the back seat just as easy as well. So definitely a very usable scenario. You folks know that I've tested the EV9 before, and I've had lots of people in it. People were able to get in and out. And with the third row, with the middle bench option, those seats are going to slide on sliders and tilt as well in their configuration to allow people in. Now, from a charging perspective, this is the Hyundai's first vehicle in North America that is shipping with the NACS connector. So it comes standard on this vehicle. What they do provide is a couple of things. First of all, it supports AC charging level 2 up to 11 kilowatts and DC fast charging up to 350 kilowatts. Now, talking to some engineers, you may not be able to get that 350 kilowatts, even though this is an 800 volt architecture EGMP, advanced EGMP design and platform. But you will definitely get well into the mid 200s, possibly even higher than that. So definitely adequate charging to get you in that 10 to 80% in about 24 to 26 minute range. Let's round it up to say 30 minutes tops at an appropriate fast charger. And that's good because the battery pack on this vehicle is 110, almost 111 kilowatt hours. This is the biggest battery pack that Hyundai has come out with. And the good thing is that all these trims, the standard battery pack is that size. There is only one battery pack. It's the biggest. You get it with all the different trim offerings. That's because they want to maximize your range. So really good that it supports NACS charging, available at many supercharging stations across North America. I think they need to be version 2 or higher stations, but you'll have to check. Now, because of a lot of people still dealing with CCS, they do supply as part of the vehicle an adapter to take it from NACS to CCS, which will support, again, 150 plus kilowatt of charging, DC fast charging. And there is also an adapter to take this from the NACS to a J1772 for your standard level 2 home charging or public charging infrastructure, which is the slower, let's say 7 to 11 kilowatt hours or so of charging. That adapter, we have it in this vehicle. I'm told that it's an option that you'll have to buy it from the dealer. It'll be a very small price. It may come with it though, so I wouldn't be surprised if the J1772 adapter is going to come with this vehicle, as is the CCS to Tesla to NACS adapter as well, which is more a substantial cost product, I may add. But Hyundai is including that one for sure free at the vehicle. Might be a small little charge for that J1772 adapter, but that's okay. Just a quick look at the interior here. Again, I'll probably put some B-roll, official B-roll, because it'll be a little nicer than my recording. But again, it's just a really nice interior. Everything is well laid out. Use of materials is very nice. You have a lot of nice soft touches. The color pattern, there's a ambient lighting everywhere. Nice big cup holders down in here. Lots of storage, and I'll get to the storage in a sec. This one has power tilt and telescoping mechanisms. Of course, all the seats. Has the comfort seat, so that's if you're at a charger and you want to decide that you want to kind of recline and rest while you're charging. As you can see, the seat reclines and then the footrest comes up, so it's called that extra comfort level, so that you can do that and then put the seat back. Just push the button, I believe, and it will hold it and it will go back, put everything back to your settings that you had it to. So some extra little nicety features, which is pretty cool. But again, I wanted to show you just the standard display layouts that we've seen now on the IONIQ vehicles, which works really, really well. All your nice, easy controls. I love the use of buttons and soft touch, so especially with the HVAC, and you have some soft touch, you have some buttons for some of the main features here. Lots of storage down here. And one of the new things here is their integrated console island. This is called 2.0, and the reason is because it has a lot more flexibility in the movement. It actually moves about I think 3 or 4 inches more than it used to, but as you can see, it's on these rails that slides, and I really like that function. So if you want to maximize, rear seat room, then move it up, and the location of the NFC charging here for your cell devices, your cup holders and stuff, some of the controls, but a nice big, of course, center console storage system with, comes with a nice USB charging cable, because this does support 100 watts of charging throughout. You can charge up to 6 devices, even some with laptops to get that faster speeds. So you can take that little tray out and have a really cavernous space down there. I can't even get my hand all the way down there. It's, it's a good 1.5 feet or something of space that it goes down there. So there's lots of space to put stuff in, which is really, really cool, and you can do that. But I just love this sliding, and there's a lever here, and it just squeezes up and it slides. And if you want to maybe put a purse or something down here, it's up to you. So it's a really nice use of ergonomics, and that's one thing I like about Hyundai and the South Koreans, is that they think about these things. How can we make the experience better for the people inside there, not just looks and some soft touch, but what are some of the other niceties that we can do to help make that experience? This does also have a digital mirror. You can flip that and you get the camera. I'm not a big fan of digital mirrors personally, but if you're loaded up with cargo or a lot of tall people and you need to see out the back, you have that with the nice cameras. Of course, it has a panoramic roof and also, I believe, a bit of a sunroof that opens, and it has a shade that comes across to block it. So they've thought of everything here. One of the other features I just want to point out before I forget is that this has true dual zone climate control, in the fact that it has 2 separate components for the HVAC, a front system under the dash like we're used to, and then it has a rear system. It has a component in the rear which individually supplies the heat and cold for the rear occupants. So you can see some of the air vents there, and into the back as well. So that's really cool, because it distributes that load to the other mechanisms, which are very efficient in their performance of the heating, cooling, and it just makes life a lot easier for the passengers. So again, something to think about that a lot of people don't. Now, if we go to the back quickly, you can see nice wide doors, as I mentioned, even some sunshades here for the rear, even though it looks like it comes with a decent factory tint. You've got some nice cup storage here. Again, soft uses, ambient lighting. I like the dual cup holders here. I didn't notice that at first. That's pretty cool. Usually don't see a lot of that. This one, of course, has all the power seats, as I showed you. And again, here we're looking at the back of that console that I've moved up all the way forward. As you can see, you have rear climate zone. This also has cooled middle seats, because the top spec also comes not only with heated seats, but with cooled in the middle row, which is something you don't see a lot. You have your USB charging ports here and a couple in the back. So there, as I mentioned, there's 3 up front, 2 and 2 again. So there's quite a lot of charging. You have AC, all your temperature controls. Then you have this, again, that humongous cavity, that storage box that I put my hand down is here. And there's a lot, you can put, I don't know if it's refrigerated. I know some of them are. This may or may not be. You can put like water bottles or cans and stuff in there to keep them maybe cool. So it might have that option. I'd have to look at that. But regardless, it's just a nice use of space to maximize what you can do with these vehicles. Hard mat pockets in the back seats, nice armrests that come out on these captain's chairs. Again, really roomy rear interior here, and even a good amount of headroom to the rear for that 3rd row, as you can see. Good size opening, and again, there's that 3rd row. So yeah, you do have to move up the legs a little bit, move up the seat to incorporate some people. Like somebody like myself as an example, but you have some nice amenities and cup holders, charging. You have some power seats for those rear. They do tilt and go recline a bit in that. So it's a nice use of space. It's a very comfortable environment, and that's what Hyundai is all about, is really providing the nice creature comforts that we're used to from sitting in our living room or something, but as we're going down the road. So I want to give you my quick driving thoughts on the IONIQ 9. It's just a great vehicle to drive. It's super comfortable, very quiet, very convenient, just capable to drive around. You do feel the weight through these twisty, windy roads that we've been driving here in the coast, halfway up Vancouver Island. And we've gone up some hills, into the mountains a little bit and back down to the coast, and it's just been handling extremely well. It's a very nice, quiet, capable, and as I mentioned, comfortable ride. The efficiency is what's blowing me away on this. It's, we're about just over 20 kilowatt hours per 100, made it, if you do the math to that over 100 kilowatt hour pack, you're in the 500 kilometer plus range, and that's exactly what their estimates are. I've done 230 kilometers. I'm still showing 326 to go, so well over 500 kilometers in this vehicle that weighs closer to 7,000 pounds. That's outstanding what they're doing now with battery efficiencies and the aerodynamics, and some of the things I mentioned in the design. What else can I tell you about driving? It's easy to drive, nice solid steering. Of course, Hyundai's version of the iPedal works really well, which is no surprise. They've done a great job there. So all in all, again, a big thumbs up for the Hyundai folks in this IONIQ 9. They've just stepped it up even more to make this a really capable and pleasant vehicle to drive, even if you've never experienced an EV before. So all this goodness that you've seen on today's review video does come at a price, but I've got some good things to tell you about the pricing. One of the things, I think, the most important thing I've taken away from this event in the last day or so is the pricing. I'm just extremely pleased at what Hyundai's been able to do. The base MSRP for the IONIQ 9 rear-wheel drive single motor starts at $59,995 or $999, so $60,000. It will qualify for any of the provincial incentives that are still available today in Canada. The federal incentive is paused. We know that Quebec has been paused, I believe, or winding down. BC is about to be paused, or will be paused by the time that this broadcast comes out. So you have to check with your local area to see what incentives are available. But even without the incentives, for $60,000 for a well-equipped single motor rear-wheel drive that will get you an EPA range of 539 or so kilometers. And I think that that's very much money well spent. Now there are a couple of three other trim levels that are available. There's the all-wheel drive at $64,999, the all-wheel drive plus or premium type scenario at the same price. You just have to check what the specs are at just under $65,000, and then the all-wheel drive with a luxury package is at $76,499. This is the top spec, as I mentioned. This is called the calligraphy package trim. It's an all-wheel drive plus model, and it comes at $81,499. It's a lot of money, I know, folks. This is the only option that has the 6 seats, the quad captain's chairs. Everything else will be a 7-seater, all the other trims, which will have that middle bench, which is a 60-40 or 70-30 split to allow people in and out, but it's still in a 3-row configuration. So based on those MSRPs, I think it's very, very attractively priced, especially at the $65,000 and below price point, so $60,000 to $65,000. Even without incentives, I think it's very competitive. Remember, folks, the average price for a new vehicle in Canada last year was about $69,000. That's internal combustion, electric, that's everything combined. The average price that Canadians are paying for a new vehicle is just under $70,000. So people may say, hey, all electrics are expensive. Well, this is under the average price. All 3 out of the 5 trims are under that average price. So just remember, keep everything in context when you're thinking about pricing. You can check the website for all the additional specs and what those trims come with. I'm not going to list them out here, but safe to say that there'll be high quality, well-equipped vehicles, well-equipped options on these vehicles for people to enjoy. So again, a big thumbs up to Hyundai for coming out with a really good pricing strategy, in my opinion. So in closing, again, I want to thank Hyundai Canada immensely for flying me out here, treating me to this beautiful first drive event here in Ucluelet, BC. I've been honored to be chosen as some of the select media to come out for this first drive event. Hope you found this review helpful. And again, if you have any questions, please email me at the information below. I'm still on Twitter or X right now. You can follow me there and reach out to me through that mechanism as well. Fantastic vehicle. Hope you enjoyed this review, and I'm continue to watch the South Koreans as they come out with more and more products. They're doing amazing things when it comes to electrification. Very high quality, very efficient, and very good vehicles, especially for Canada and the North American market spaces. They're doing some great stuff, so continue to watch those. So thank you very much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and until the next one, please, everybody stay safe, have fun, and I will see you when I see you. Take care and bye-bye.